What's going on, Knife Tube? So today we're going to be talking about the Civivi Timberbark. I already got this a while ago, but the thing is I was carrying it with a cold steel small C-clip. And that kind of just chunked it out, and it just made it not what I was looking for. So I stopped carrying it for a while, and then I got back into the idea of having a small fixed blade on me. So I went to go buy some Ulti clips, and I found these on Amazon. They're just Chinese, not branded, but they work great. And here in Canada, I paid $55 for 10 of them, so it'll be way cheaper for you guys in the States, so that's a plus. But now I'm loving this thing. I'm absolutely loving this. I carry it all day in the house. I use this knife in the kitchen like crazy. So that's why I wanted to talk about it. I've really been enjoying it. And I want to explain why I stuck with this instead of going with, say, the White River M1 or the Cold Steel Mini Pendleton in 3V. So this in Canada, CDN costs $100, something like that. And so does the Mini Pendleton. And I would say that if you know which knife I'm talking about, it'll be easier to understand what I'm saying. But I feel like they're somewhat opposites. So when it comes to the Pendleton, you're going to get better ergonomics. And I guess you will also get better steel. But I think the geometry on this blade is much better. For what a small fixed blade is going to do, that's the type of knife that you're going to take out all the time, and you're going to want it to perform. You're not, the Pendleton kind of has like a small drop point blade with not as much belly, and I would say that slicing is going to be the main priority in a small blade. You could argue that fact if, depending what you're doing with your knife, but for me, that's what I would say. So with this area of this blade, I'm just absolutely loving it. It dices tomatoes like nothing. I put a 20 degree on this. I needed a 16 degree guide to get there, just so you know. In case you guys want to use a 20 on it, you're not going to get a 20 degree angle. But this thing slices like crazy. I've really been loving this, and like I said before, at $100, with its competitor being the Pendleton, going up to Magna Cut, then you're spending double, right? And that would be the White River. But if this is, if you want a hunting knife as well, like I said, I mentioned the slicing capability, this is exactly what you're going to want. White River does offer a different geometry, but I think that's a little bit bigger of a knife as well, so we'll just leave that to another conversation. But this has been serving me very well. The 14C28N is, like I've said before in other videos, it's not the best for edge retention. So one thing I would just emphasize is to lead with your spines always when you're, and obviously try to keep the blade as straight as possible, but always lead with your spine, because if you're going in from here, you're gonna dull your blade too quick, and it's not gonna be a good experience carrying a fixed blade if that's happening. And one of the reasons I don't want the Pendleton is because it has that Securex fiberglass sheath. So even if it's got better ergonomics, better steel, if you can't put your own sheath on that thing, it's really not going to be as good as it could be. So, and I don't know, it's still awesome. I'm not going to hate on the Pendleton, but I will hate on those sheaths because they suck. I think, me personally, when I do get that knife, that's when I'll get into making sheaths. But if you're not there, you don't make your own sheaths, you don't want to spend $200 or whatever the American price is for the White River, then this guy is probably what you're going to want to pick up. It's got great retention too, like super good retention. This thing will shoot across the table. With this on, I've had zero issues with this Chinese version of the Ulti-Clip. So this, I mean, I did have to pay like $50 altogether, but it's $5 a piece. So, you know, I can't really complain about that. And but one thing I'll say concerning the ergonomics of this one is this choil is a little bit unnecessary. If we would have just had a full handle, Gideon's Tactical said it first. I won't take the credit, but he's definitely right. If we would have just had a full handle, this thing, I wouldn't even be talking about the Pendleton right now, probably, because this would just be my absolute favorite. But that isn't the case. So hopefully Civivi, you know, hears that from other people too, and just maybe comes out with something more similar to what I'm saying. But it would just be amazing. But other than that, that's the only thing I don't like about this knife. You know, because when I do 3-finger, it's perfect. I'm right on the jimping. My pinky kind of lands in the hoop here, so it's pretty comfortable. Like, and then as I said, I don't know actually if I said yet, but when I use the choil, my finger, you know, I'm not gonna get cut. It's hard to get that in frame, but I'm not gonna get cut. If you have a little bit chubbier fingers, that might not be the case for you. But 3.5-inch knuckle width. I try to always say that so you guys can understand where your hand may lie on the knife. But this past 2 weeks, week and a half, I have carried and used this thing all day. I sharpened it once and then honed it back up today, actually, on the 1200. And it looks great. I actually smacked it against a spoon at breakfast and left a nice little dent in it, so I wanted to fix that. But yeah, I just want you guys to know that if you're worried about that Pendleton sheath, or you don't want to spend $200 or $150 in the States, whatever it is, this is a good option. As far as mini fixed blades go, this is a great option. Like, there's not much out there, and you know, since I had this already, I was like, why spend more money, right? And once I put this clip on, I'm glad I didn't spend more money. So yeah, I just want to share with you guys. Like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks.